The dusty winds of a 1920s Montana cattle ranch are a far cry from the life Julian expected when he was appointed as the foreman of Blackwood Manor. The core theme here is resilience through silence, but the world and the stakes have been completely reimagined. Julian was a man of cold efficiency, arriving at the ranch with a single goal to squeeze every drop of profit from the land by cutting the wages of the veteran ranch hands. He viewed the seasoned he viewed the seasoned cowboys as replaceable parts in a machine, forcing them into brutal 16-hour shifts while he sat in the shade of the porch. Most walked away, leaving the ranch understaffed and the cattle neglected. The only person the others stayed was the lack of anywhere else to go in a town owned entirely by the Blackwood family. The ranch became a graveyard of mourning. His arrogance even extended to the local stable hand, a woman everyone ignored named Elara. He refused to pay her a fair wage, claiming that solving hay was a task for the desperate, not the skilled. When the HR equivalent of the time, the aging ranch bookkeeper, Mr. Sterling, warned that the livestock were suffering in the filth, Julian simply laughed. He told Sterling that if he could not find a stable hand for pennies, the bookkeeper would be the one holding the shovel. One morning, while Julian was berating the staff for the state of the barn, he looked out toward the horizon. He saw a woman in tattered, oversized men's overalls stacking heavy timber with a rhythmic, unnatural grace. He did not care who she was. He only saw cheap labor. He shouted for her to come over, but she did not flinch. It was not until a ranch hand physically grabbed her shoulder that she turned. Elvira was 24, but her eyes held a century of weariness. She was profoundly deaf, surviving by reading the vibration of the earth and the movements of lips. Helian realized her handicap made her even more exploitable, hired her for a fraction of a normal wage. He mocked her openly to the other man, calling her a ghost in the dirt, confident she could not hear the venom in his voice. But Elena was no ghost. At night, she retreated to a cave at the edge of the property where she cared for injured mountain lions and abandoned hounds. She understood the language of suffering better than anyone. While Union slept, Alana did not just clean, she washed. She saw the ledger books Julian left out, the way he was skimming off the top, and the bleeding errors in his irrigation plans that would eventually turn the ranch into a desert. The owner of the territory, a legendary pioneer named Silas Blackwood, eventually arrived to see why his prized ranch was hemorrhaging money. Julian tried to distract him with fabricated reports and bad promises, but Silas was a man who trusted his eyes over words. He announced he was closing the ranch for a week of rest, but in reality, he installed observers in the shadows. Silas discovered something remarkable in the dead of night. The deep stable hand was not just cleaning stores, she was writing the ranch logistical maps and correcting the glazing rotations on the chalkboard in the foreman's office. Her handwriting was elegant, her math flawless. The climax did not happen in a boardroom, but in the center of the dusty corral. Silas confronted Julian in front of the entire crew, tossing the foreman's fraudulent ledgers into the dirt. He revealed that he had seen the footage of Julian's cruelty and his theft. Julian was banished from the territory with nothing but the clothes on his back. Silas called William forward as she spoke through a mix of sign and soft labored words. Her true history emerged. She had been a brilliant scholar in the East, the daughter of a disgraced architect who lost everything in a great fire. She had lost her hearing in that same blaze. Along with her family, she had fled west to disappear, thinking the world had no place for a woman who could not hear its music. Silas did not just give her a job, he gave her the ranch. He appointed Elara as the first female superintendent Blackwood Manor. Under her leadership, the ranch did not just recover, it flourished. The ending held a twist that no one in the small Montana town expected. Years later, after Ilana transformed the land into a sanctuary for both animals and people, her hearing began to return, not through a miracle, but through a specialized surgery funded by the very success she had built from the dirt. The first thing she heard was not the praise of the town, but the sound of the wind through the pines and the steady heartbeat of the life she had refused to let go of. If this story of greed and hidden brilliance resonated with you, Consider sharing how you have found strength in your own quiet moments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales of transformation. Until next time.